and welcome. It's 11 a.m. here in Seoul. I'm Ji-young at the Arirang News Center. We're breaking into our regular programming to provide you with the latest live briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the COVID-19 outbreak. In just a few moments, we'll cut into the briefing at the Sejong Government Complex with simultaneous interpretation in English. Yoon Tae-ho, the overall officer of disinfection of the Central Disaster Management Headquarters, will be briefing us on the coronavirus situation here in the country. We should be getting a breakdown of the number of new infections as of midnight, as well as any trends and possible updates and the latest on the vaccine campaign. Also, the latest social distancing measures and the efforts that the government is making to contain the virus. To give you a brief idea as we wait, South Korea reported 747 new cases of COVID-19 on Friday, up 32 from yesterday's figure. The briefing is about to start, so let's take a look at the briefing.
Let us now begin our regular briefing for May 14th, Friday. We have our Prime Minister Kim Boo-kyum, who presided over his first quarantine measures, and he looked at the Jeollanam-do province, which is carrying out a pilot social distancing measure, and he also looked at the indoor sports facilities. And right now, indoor sports facilities, we have seen an increase of the cluster infections. However, in April, we have implemented intensified quarantine measures targeting these facilities, and we have seen a slight decline in the number of cluster infections. And about 22% of our latest infections have been stemming from these facilities, with about 206 new infections. However, this has dropped significantly to 73 infections. And the Cultural Ministry has been looking at the indoor sports facilities, and its minister has also met with the people who are working in these specific areas, and he also listened to the opinions that they have. And local governments around the country have looked at the inspections for about 430,000 indoor sports facilities. They have also selected some good role models in terms of quarantine, and also they have been pinpointing those facilities that have been breaching these measures. And they also have been looking at the measures and they have been devising policies that help these facilities to carry out these quarantine measures despite of these intensified quarantine measures. And we like to take this opportunity to extend our deepest gratitude to all of the people who are helping out. And next, in terms of the Jeollanam-do province, which is carrying out its pilot run of the social distancing measures, here are some updates. Jeollanam-do province has seen a stable increase of the number of infections, and also starting from 3rd of May, they have implemented a pilot run of the ease of the social distancing measures. However, lately they have seen an increase of the cluster infections stemming from nightlife entertainment venues, and to this end, certain cities like Suncheon have been also intensified its quarantine measures and upgraded its social distancing to level 2. And in Jeollanam province, the local government is carrying out special on-site inspection for all of these facilities, and they are also issuing an administrative order for the next 1 month to carry out weekly preemptive testings for all of the people who work at these facilities. And they also have established a task force team so that they could test people in the residential area so that they can have a stable outbreak of the COVID-19. And even at this moment, there are many people, especially nurses and medical doctors, who are exerting their full efforts to fight against the COVID-19. And the quarantine authorities currently are dispatching and mobilizing quarantine officials as well as medical professionals to each of the local governments so that they can share the burden. And in order to fight against the COVID-19, I would like to once again acknowledge the efforts put forth by these medical practitioners. 2 days ago, about 430,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccines have arrived in Korea. And today we have about 63,000 doses will be arriving here in Korea as well. And lately we have more than 1 million doses of the Pfizer and the AstraZeneca vaccines that have arrived. And by end of June, we aimed to inoculate 13 million people. And currently we have enough vaccines to inoculate these people, and this is the time to focus on the rollout of the vaccines. And as of right now, we are currently having the reservations for the vaccination appointments for the senior citizens, and this will be carried out until the 3rd of June. And yesterday alone, more than 1 million people, senior age citizens, have been registering for their vaccine appointments. And they include those people aged between age of 60 and 74. And starting from yesterday, we also have begun the booking for vaccine appointments for people aged between 60 and 64. And up until now, we have about 18% of the eligible recipients who have completed the vaccine appointment bookings. And this shows that many of our citizens are willing to get vaccinated. However, there are also many people still who are hesitant to receive the vaccines due to side effects. And right now, they understand scientifically that there are lower risks of the side effects. However, it is very important to get the vaccinations. And right now, I have been also been receiving the AstraZeneca vaccines. However, before receiving the jabs, I myself was also anxious and nervous and worried. Right now, when we have the surveys, people, when they visit multi-use facilities at cafes or restaurants, about 85% of them had said that they feared over the COVID-19 infections when they visited these places. And also they answered that about 70% of them were fearful of the COVID-19 infections at their daily lives, including workplaces and schools. And about 60% of the respondents also answered that our society is not yet safe from the COVID-19. However, if you get a single jab of the COVID-19 vaccine, you could prevent the infections by 85%. And this means that it is ever more important for the senior citizens to receive the vaccinations because COVID-19 fatalities is high among these senior citizens. And to this end also, with the vaccinations, you could also protect the safety and the lives of your loved ones as well. And during the latter half of this year, we aim to also facilitate more senior citizens to meet in person their children and also their grandchildren as well. And we also hope that they resume their daily lives and daily routines at welfare centers in groups and also listen to enjoyable lectures. And I also sincerely hope that the senior citizens could also enjoy travels and outings with their peers as well. And to this end, we ask you to get vaccinated as soon as possible. And if you are fully immunized after receiving both shots, we believe that you could also return to a state of normalcy to a large extent. So we ask for your continued participation going forward. And the government will exert our full efforts to roll out the vaccines to senior citizens and also essential social workers and the vulnerable class, which amounts to 13 million, so that our society can return to a state of normalcy as soon as possible. And right now, today, we see a total of 729 new local infections and 18 new imported cases. We had 2 additional fatalities, and I extend my deepest condolences to the deceased and the members of the bereaved families. We still have much room for our medical response capacity. We have 0 patients who are waiting to be hospitalized, and we have about 73% of the ICU hospital beds available for immediate use. This amounts to about 530, and we also have about 9,000 hospital beds for mild and moderate symptoms right now. And until the end of June, our aim is to stabilize the outbreak here in South Korea. And to this end, we ask the members of the public to also comply with the basic quarantine measures, like washing of your hands and wearing your face face mask and also refrain from going to frequented indoors areas as well. And the government will also exert our full efforts to return to a state of normalcy. Thank you very much.
지금부터 질의응답 시간 가지겠습니다.
That was a government briefing on the COVID-19 situation here in the country. South Korea reported 747 new COVID-19 cases on Friday. This brings the accumulated number of cases to 130,380. There have been 2 more deaths, raising the death toll to 1,893. We'll wrap up the coverage here. We'll be back at 12 p.m. Korea time for our midday news with Mark Broom. Bye for now.